Want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders, the bishops, and the apostles at Great Millstone, GMS. Salutations and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the 144,000, the 1/3, and Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua, and Shalom to fellow believers. Shalom. So I want to get into First Maccabees chapter 3. My main focus is on verse 48. But the main reason why I wanted to do this video is because I found this at work, at the job. They actually threw it out in the dumpster, and I seen it, and I grabbed it because I was like, whoa, I grabbed it. You see what it says, all right? So, let me show how it looks like. Let me get this to focus. So, I seen this. I said, hey man, let me grab this, And then if anybody knows about the Mormons, they're a bunch of false prophets and stuff like that. And basically, the guy that founded founded Mormons, he was a false prophet, and he basically stole a lot of stuff that was already written. And you see the accordance with the precepts right here, as you can see. Here are the precepts. And they say the original version actually looked like a novel, but they said they made it to be actually more like, how the Bible was broken down. Just to show that. But I'm not here to show that this Bible, not Bible, but this book has anything that you need to use in trying to spread the word. Because, like I said, most of the stuff in this book is plagiarism. So it's no need to even use, even if you was to get a good verse in here, it's just plagiarism. But I did not get this book for that, because, like I said, I found it in the trash. Because the type of work I do, people throw stuff away, but when I seen it, it was just sitting in there. Maybe someone could have planted it in there. I don't know. You gotta watch. You got government agents out here. They'll plant anything for you to talk about. But even if they did, I'm only going into it for these pictures. I got pictures in here, but I'm going to first go into a verse. So I'm not going to get it all into the Mormons, because they're nothing but false prophets. But this is the Apocrypha Authorized King James Version. All right, I got a little notes. I need to graffiti this one up, like how I did my excuse me, Salakia, the King James one. So but every praise you turn to, But let's get right into it. This is the First Maccabees. This is chapter 3, 48. and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. All right, it's more to that, but I'm gonna stick it right there because I'm trying to make this a quick video. So I'm gonna bring out a lot of stuff, but something I wanted to bring out first, but I'm gonna save that a little bit towards the last. But basically, even in this book, and even in the Holy Quran, they sought to paint their image too. But that's for another video. A lot of people don't know that those that are Muslim consider Muhammad to be a black man, but they paint him as a Arabian man. Even their religion has been hijacked. But that's for another video. But I wanted to show this right here. The Lord Jesus Christ. And I have who painted it. And this is supposed to be the Messiah. You see him looking to the side, this frail man who has no strength in him. He's supposed to be a carpenter. He looked like he couldn't even lift a nail. And with the straight hair. Alright. So, this is what they did. They laid open the book. Now, we already know in Christianity, this is basically the same thing that they put out there. But Mormons call themselves the Latter-day Saints of Jesus Christ and all that stuff. But this is what they paint. This is supposed to be Yahweh Shai. But this is not Yahweh Shai. This is Jesus Christ. And the reason why I say that this is Jesus Christ, because he looked just like Bourget. Because this is their only begotten son. Remember, that's their only begotten son. Our only begotten son does not look like this. Our only begotten son has a skin tone like mine or even darker. Okay? That has woolly hair, not this straight hair. Alright? And when he talks with authority and he has a deep voice. This man don't talk like that. Oh, if you only believe in me. Yeah, that's him. Alright? So this is not Yahweh Shai. So let's make that very clear. So when they say this is Jesus Christ, yes, this is their Jesus Christ. This is their pig. Alright? That's their earth pig, alright? And as you also look into this book, this is the false prophet. Alright, Joseph Smith. And he also had, well, we're not going to get into his criminal record because even some of the prophets, the real prophets, Moses had to slay a man because that man got out of line. And the Father forgave him and made everything go straight so he could spread the word. But this man is a false prophet. Nothing or any information has come to pass, and any stuff showing any archaeological finds has been seen. So he wanted to paint himself to be someone special when he ain't nothing special at all. And that's what they do. They took our books, took our information, and wanted to paint. He wanted to have himself painted as if he's some prophet. And these are the same type of people that enslaved you. And we look right here. Cause I mean the book of Maccabees, Maccabees 1, verse 3:48. I mean, it's showing you how they laid open the book. What does it say right there? All right. Okay. These are supposed to be the time when they came into, you know, supposed to be the Americas or something like that. All right. And they supposedly, after Yahushua did his message over there in Jerusalem, that he came to the Americas. You see? His people arrived in the promised land. See that? And look at these. Look at the dates that they got. And these are the pages if you wanna check this out. And look at this. Baptizer in the waters of Mormon. Supposed to be the indigenous people and all this. And look how they did. They want to paint their images of them being the people. And they never have been a religious people. Look at this. They never have been. And there never was. Because it would have shown. Acting like they're the people. I could talk about this for hours, man. Look at this. When they're thinking that they're the people. We're going to first go into what it says. It was nothing brought up in the supposedly old or supposedly new testaments that people like to use, but it's nothing but the scriptures. Nothing in the scriptures talked about going to another distant land after Jerusalem. And look how that person looks like. Let me let that focus for a little bit. This is supposed to be the Messiah, Yahushua. And it's not. This is Jesus Christ. This is their God. Like Zeus and all them crazy Babel. This is their gods. This is not our Father Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So we can say that this is what they worship. Because it is what they worship. And it's sad to say that some of our people worship this as well. This is supposed to be a guy that builds stuff. He's not even strong. He's frail. He's weak. Look at this. And this is supposed to be supposedly the natives of the Americas. And look how they even painted them to be Caucasian. This is why y'all gonna pay double. Y'all have to pay double for what y'all done. Taking these scriptures and manipulating this stuff. Look at this. Get a good look at that so you can write it down, look it up for yourself. I didn't want to show him being all strong and he found these golden tablets that was buried. Got the sword. And it's nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. But the one thing they're never gonna ever talk about is the story with Jacob and Esau, how that came about. They're never gonna bring that out. They're just not going to, because it's not in them to do it. I want to go into this right here. Now, the reason why I want to go into this, because I just seen a video by a brother, and he was showing that a girl was receiving dreams from demons that she was saying Yahuda is the name of the father, and she was saying it incorrectly. The name is Yahweh. And she was saying it incorrectly. Excuse me, Salakia. She was saying it wrong. And she said that the demons was messing with her. And what the brother was saying was basically true. Well, not basically true. It is true. That Yahweh was saying, that's not my name. And you keep this he's Yahuda and all this other crazy nonsense. But this girl right here is that she was 8 years old. She painted this picture, all right? And she said she seen it in a dream. And she was on TV and everything. And they're saying that this is what this man looked like. And the thing is that Edomites can receive dreams too. And that's what people don't realize. They can receive dreams. And they can receive dreams from Yahweh that shows that something that's going to come to pass, even something that's against them, or even something that they believe. But to show that she painted this picture of this so-called Jesus at a young age. And I remember even going to this girl page, leaving tons of messages, letting her know that, listen, forget your dream, forget all this stuff ain't real. And that's how I lost my first page, because basically I wasn't having it. I was going to go to your page, go to your website, whatever what you had, and I was going to let you know what you saying is a bunch of bullcrap. I was seeking them out. But now I know better. We don't need to do that. Just make a video on it. But that was way back in the day. That's what I would do. All right? I would go find you. You know. So I would just do stuff like that. But I don't do that no more. But anyway. This is what she was doing. She was getting these dreams to paint this image. And this is a false dream. So when people say they have a dream, you gotta be very, very careful on what they saying. And if it's not going over scripture, you gotta know that that's demons having a very good time. And they be having good times. And they had a good time with her. But you can't tell her that, though. because she's going to be under the strong delusion along with her family and any other people that are weak-minded, and mostly any other people that's not dealing with Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. I mean, look at this. There's tons of stuff talking about this girl painting this picture. Tons of it. With this man. And see, and people say, oh, so you painted this at this young age and you did all so well and all this and that. But the thing is, no one does any cross references of how he looked. No one does that. They go straight into the nonsense and say that this is what Yahweh Shai looks like. When he looked nothing like this. Nothing like this. You can go into Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. And with verse 10. I beheld till the throne were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands and thousands ministered unto him, and tens of thousands times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. Now it clearly says that the outer garment was white like snow, symbolizing pure. But it says his hair of his head was like pure wool. Now people will say, oh, his hair was white. Yeah, it probably was white. Probably was white. But it was of wool. I'm really not trying to make this be too long. I said I wouldn't, but hey, the Rakakadash says bring it out. So this is Revelations 1. We're going to start around 14. Salakia. His head and his hair were white like wool. They were white like wool. White as snow. His eyes were as a flame of fire. 15. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. All right. So he had dark skin. This is brass. All right. And I actually took brass with a torch. And I actually, maybe I should do that in another video. All right. It says that it was burned in the furnace. Hold on. Let me hold on. Let me read that right. Because you know you got people out here. Burnt in a furnace. Anything burnt in the furnace is going to get the smoke. And it's going to get the burning. And it's going to come out like that. So, Yahushua was dark-skinned. He didn't look nothing like what this lady is saying. Nothing like that. Yeah. And this is identity theft. It is. And the thing is that so many people believe this lie. And this is actually an antichrist. This is the antichrist. To show you that you cannot fall into something that is not real. Something that is false. Something that is fake. But people every day fall into this nonsense. I want to see if this other scripture in this other book brings this out. I want to see if it's actually going to show. Because a brother from Idaho was showing about the precepts in the book. I want to see if it's actually going to show that. Because that was Daniel 7:9. I want to see if this one is actually going to show that in there. Bear with me. Alright, so we're going to go. I'm going to use this right here. This is the book. This is one of the older books from the Watchtower. They do have the precepts all throughout the book. But you, like how the brother was saying, you have to check them. And you got to be very careful of them. Because, see, when they use their precepts, they're going to use their precepts for what they want. Not for what you want. Now, this is Daniel 7:9. Alright, we read that. Ancient of Days, Son of Man, given rulership. Alright? So, let me show you that this is 7. Physically showing you. We turn it from 7. Alright? All the way up. From 7, 8, and the next page is going to be 9. Alright? We'll look up all the precepts that's in here, under verse 9, just to say we did it, okay? It says, I kept on beholding until there were thrones placed. They got B. Alright? These are all the precepts that they have right here. Alright? So, this would be the place of the throne. Alright? We see something that shows Revelation, so you know what that's talking about. Well, let's go right there. We're really not trying to make this be a long video, but sometimes it happens like that. You know? Because this is a learning thing, you know. You gotta study yourself approved. So this is B, right? Revelation 20. What is it? Verse 4. It's B, right? So it have to be 4. Let's press this. Let's bring it up. And I saw seated, and they sat on them, and doom was given to them, and the souls of men beheaded for the witnessing of Yahweh, for the word of Yahweh, and them that worship not the beast, neither the image of it, neither took the character of it. Okay, well, we read all that, so that's making sense. They're up in heaven. But when it says, and the Ancient of Days sat, these are, it even has Daniel 7:13. I kept on beholding and the vision of the night, and see there with the clouds of the heavens someone like the Son of Man happened to be coming, and to the Ancient of Days. And then has another precept, which is R. But a lot of these precepts, if you can remember them, you will know where they're at. But the point where I want to try to get at is where it starts talking about this color. See, it has Ancient of Days sat down. His clothing was white, just like snow. Alright, we have that. It's going to bring that up in Revelation, so you know what they're talking about. And they got Revelation over there, which is close to that, because, you know, Revelation 14. And the hair of his head was like clean wool. So let's go to E. See what E say. And that's right there. Alright. So that's Revelation 1:14. And the head of him and his hair were white as white wool, as snow, and the eyes of him as a flame of fire. But see, That's talking about his hair. His hair was white. The color was white. The texture was wool. So if you just reading that, if they really wanted to, when they made this, all right, if they really wanted to try to show how the Messiah looked like, they talked about his hair. His throne was a flame of fire. It talks about Isaiah 6:1. I'm not going to even go into that. But you would think that they would go into we take this out and put 15. And it says, and his feet like the lantern, and his feet like the droves of gold. This the Wycliffe Bible. Or a lantern as in a burning chimney, and the voice of him as the voice of many waters. You see, what people have to understand, you probably can use these precepts, but when you have different translations, they can either work for you or work against you from what I'm seeing. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually took a piece of brass and I burnt that brass with a torch. Matter of fact, let me pause the video and go get that torch. And it seemed like I might have to make a video on that so people can understand what I'm talking about. All right, so this is where I used the solder pipe. All right. All right. It works. All right. And this is actual brass. This came off of a plumbing fixture from underneath a sink, because I do plumbing and electric and all this type of stuff. So I want to get a good picture of this. This is how brass looks like. Now, when brass is shiny, it actually looks like gold. All right. Now, when brass gets tarnished and stuff like that, it looks brown, almost the same color as my skin. All right. So, but I have to show a video so people can understand, and no one has really done this, but I did this before. But as you do things, people take your page away. And that's what happens, because when you take the scriptures and you actually put reality to it, people don't like that and say, oh yeah, we're going to take your page away. But anyway, you can see the color. See that? And you see how the inside looks nice and shiny, like as it talks about in the Wycliffe, like gold. All right. Okay. But once you start burning this stuff, and even gold can get dirty, and you have to wipe it down and give it shine back. But when you put this in a furnace, yeah, it will turn dark brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone that teaches this truth. For all the elders and the bishops and apostles that labor day and night, we thank you for all your hard work. For all the elders and all the camps of Great Millstone GMS, I thank you, and the brothers thank you for all your hard work that y'all do and making sure that we speak this word and teach this word in truth and to our very best ability. We thank you, and I thank you, because without you, this word cannot come through. But it's all done through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So we want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father and His Son. So we thank them, and we thank the elders and the bishops and apostles at Great Millstone. We want to give peace and blessings to all the Aqua and the Akia, and all those that's out there making videos and out there in the highways and hedges. Shalom.